Hey guys, what's up? It's Justin here with TechBusters IT Solutions. So this week we're going to start a new video series introducing and showing you how to use the Linux distribution Kali Linux. So as you can see on my screen here, I have a VMware Workstation session set up here with the Kali Linux distribution loaded up into one of my VMs here. We're going to run a live CD of Kali Linux for this video here, and we'll get going. So like I said, this week's video will focus on the basic introduction of the OS and some background of it. And week by week, we'll show you how to use some of the tools that come packaged with Kali Linux. And as most of you know, if you're already clicking on the video, you already know what Kali Linux is. Kali Linux is a Debian-based Linux distribution that was designed for digital forensics and pen testing. And it was developed by the same team that brought you BackTrack, and I'm not sure if some of you guys are familiar with BackTrack, but BackTrack was essentially basically an older version of Kali Linux. It's the same team that developed both of the tools. BackTrack's no longer available to the market, and the penetration testing OS of choice by professionals is Kali Linux. So here's the OS, and of course there's a GUI to it, and as you can tell, here's some of the tools. One thing to note, Iceweasel here is your web browser. I've never used Iceweasel before. Things that I've heard and things that people said, I've heard it's a decent tool and it works very well. We're not going to go too much into using Iceweasel or anything. We want to really learn about the penetration testing programs that are included in the OS. And of course, here's your link to the terminal and your files. And like I said, this is a Debian-based Linux distribution, so it should be very familiar if you used Ubuntu, Linux Mint, or any of those. So Kali Linux comes pre-installed with over 600 penetration testing tools, and some of those include nmap, Wireshark, John the Ripper, which is a password cracker, Aircrack-ng, which is the penetration testing tool for wireless networks. And like I said, we'll go over those individually at another time. This video is basically just a brief overview and introduction of the OS. One thing to note when you launch all these applications here, as you can tell, there's numerous applications for the penetration testing and as the kids would say, hacking type of use. So each of these tools, and I'm not going to say all of them, most of them will open up in a terminal window. So meaning that there's no GUI, and it can be difficult at times to work with and understand what's going on. So like I said, we'll go over some of these one by one in videos to come. And as you can already tell, Linux OS is definitely an OS that was not designed for everyday productivity use like Ubuntu or Linux Mint. And it's not a Linux distribution that you would recommend to beginners to Linux, as like I said, there's a lot of command line type things that you'll be doing in this OS. And Kali Linux was specifically tailored to the needs of penetration testing professionals. So if you go out to their website, all the documentation regarding the OS assumes that you have some prior knowledge of Linux and some prior you're a little bit more familiar with the Linux OS and the way it works. So guys, this is pretty much it. Like I said, as I mentioned before, this video is designed to give you a brief introduction to Kali Linux, and as the video series grows, we'll teach you guys how to use some of the tools that are pre-installed on Linux. And like I said, there are well over 600 tools that come installed on this OS, and we'll go over some of the favorites. Like I said, John the Ripper will do Aircrack-ng, show how to use the wireless penetration testing software there, and we'll go over some password things as well. Like I said, guys, this was a basic introduction. I don't want to go too much further into this. Next week we'll do some videos, and I think we'll start off with John the Ripper and Aircrack-ng. We'll start off with those two tools and go from there. See you guys next week. If you haven't already, definitely go download the Kali Linux distribution and set yourself up a virtual session. I do have a video showing you how to set Kali Linux up in Hyper-V. I'll link that in the description below. And as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you like what we're doing. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll talk to you next week.